Well, guys, welcome in. Happy Wednesday to you. We are very excited here today because the newest member, newest capping group here on the Joe Ranieri Show joins us via the Miami Acura hotline. I want to introduce you to Jason from SportsPick365.com. Now, you guys know we pride ourselves with bringing only the best of the best on the show here for you, so you don't have to try and navigate through that ridiculous jungle that is Twitter and social media with everyone telling you they're the greatest in the world. These guys are the real deal, and we thank Jason for taking a couple of minutes out and joining us here on the show. So, Jason, thank you very much for coming on, my friend.
Joe, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it. On behalf of the Sports Pick 365 Nation, we just appreciate you bringing legitimacy to the game, man. Thanks a lot.
No, we appreciate having you. I know you got two fire games that you're all over here tonight. We're going to get to those in just a minute. But first, I want to kind of get I want you to introduce yourself to the viewers, to the listeners who might not know who you are. I mean, talk to us. How did it start? You know, what do you guys do? If somebody goes to sportspick365.com, what can they expect?
So what you can expect with SportsPick365.com is transparency, legitimacy, and just a really detail-oriented process. Right? We have capped every single pick that we have made since February, since our company has started. It was brought together by three individuals: myself, Ed, and Eric, who are the other two cappers that have brought this whole thing together. We cap over 7 sports right now, and to show a winning record over 7 sports is extremely difficult for one and humbling for two, because when you cap every single pick for that amount of time, you know, there's going to be times where you're going to pull your hair out and say, gosh, I don't know if we can do this thing. And then there's times where you want to take that jet over to Vegas and start riding it high. Am I right?
Uh-oh. Amen to that, my friend. Amen to that. In fact, on the screen right now, we're putting up some of the graphics that you can find at sportspick365.com. You talked about transparency. You talked about, you know, all the different sports that you guys cap, and we've got your profit trend here, and we also had the VIP picks. You're talking Major League Baseball, soccer, NBA, NHL, NFL, NCAA football, NCAA basketball. You know, that's not an easy thing to do in any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, absolutely not. And like I said, you know, and if you really go into the detail of the graphics, I mean, as you can see, you know, soccer is definitely the meat and potatoes, just because of the fact that it's played year-round for the most part, right? I mean, there may be the occasional layoff here and there, but that's where, you know, a lot of the picks have ended up coming from, is just because it originally started as just a soccer capping business, but then as our soccer capper Ed realized, hey, I needed to bring on some more experts. I needed to bring on you know, some people that know a little bit more about, you know, the NBA, NHL, NFL, and really take this thing off. And by doing that, you know, it's been extremely successful, not only for us, but our VIP clients.
Yeah, now explain to those, explain to the folks who are going to go to sportspick365.com, Jason, the process itself of being able to get signed up with you guys. How easy is it? Is it as simple as just going to the website and looking at the different kinds of packages? What is it that you guys offer for folks?
Yeah, yes, it absolutely is. Extremely easy. Again, go over to sportspick365.com. Immediately you will see a link to go to a VIP page where we discuss our packages. And our packages are $10 for a daily package, $20 for a weekly package, and $50 for a monthly. And you may say right off the get, well, you know, how come it's so expensive for just one day? Well, again, we're not made to win for just one day, right? And any capper can go out here and have one successful day, you know, go extremely solid. Or on the reverse end of the spectrum, one capper can have a horrible day, right? We don't base that off of anything, and we're not breaking your bankroll with our membership package, we will always push the monthly package. $50 for a month, we feel like is extremely affordable for anybody that, you know, wants to be in the sports betting business. And it is a business. It's something that we treat extremely seriously.
And we talk about it all the time. Jason joining us from sportspick365.com. He is part of the group, one of the new capping groups here on the Joe Ranieri Show. Guys that we trust dearly, guys that will do the right thing by you. And Jason, a lot of the questions that we get from people, first-timers or people trying to dabble into sports betting and sports gambling, sometimes they're intimidated or they're afraid to ask questions. How much access do people have to you guys in order to be able to say, hey, guys, I'm not sure if I'm betting too much or if I'm not betting enough? Talk to us a little bit about how accessible you guys as cappers are, and if people have questions, they can get answers from you.
So, again, having three minds in our capping game is extremely valuable, not only from the standpoint of a picking standpoint, but also from a bankroll management standpoint. We are extremely accessible. We have, all three of us have the information to our Twitter. All of us have the information to our email, to where if you had any questions about any of these, and there have been plenty of times that our VIPs do reach out to us and just say, hey, I wanted to know why you picked this game. What did you think about it? Sometimes we do detailed write-ups. Other times, you know, we just don't necessarily have the time. I mean, let's be honest, we're three guys who also work 9-to-5 jobs, you know what I mean, during the day. So it's not the end-all, be-all, but we try to make it as big of a priority as we can, because we know that people out there have invested into us, and we want to make sure that the return on investment is substantial.
Yes, no, that exactly it. And it's very simple. It's a great website. It's an easy follow. It's very clean. Some of the websites that you guys go to, it gets so convoluted, and then you get intimidated, and you go, already my eyes are killing me just looking at it. You won't have that. Sportspick365.com. When you guys, as soon as we're done here, guys, go there, check it out. I'm telling you, it's very professional, very well done, and the guys behind it are here for you. It's all about making you the winner in the long run. And like Jason said, if you're not in this for the long run, then chances are just go to the blackjack table, or, you know, go play lotto, and you got a better chance of actually being successful there. But these guys do the legwork so you don't have to, and that's really what the service is all about, Jason.
Absolutely, Joe.
Yep. All right. So let's talk about a couple of these games today, because I know you guys are all hopped up. You are in the Indianapolis area, so there's a very interesting game tonight going to be taking place at Assembly Hall. So we'll get to that game, but let's start with the rematch, shall we? Because it certainly does feel like a rematch. We've got Michigan taking on Villanova, 6:30 at the Finneran Pavilion. This is just 7 months after the 79-62 loss to the Wildcats in last year's national title game. So talk to us a little bit about this game. 8th-ranked Villanova taking on number 18 Michigan. We're only a week into the season, but doesn't this kind of feel like it certainly feels like a rematch to me?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, well, for starters, it's a nationally televised game, right? So it's on Fox Sports 1. It's got all the makings of a big fight feel. Am I right? No. I mean, early in the game, two ranked teams. You know, obviously you brought up the revenge game factor, right? And how much that's going to play into this. You know, given the fact that, you know, Nova had some guys leave. You know, Michigan is definitely one of those programs that grows from within, and there's a lot of returning players that are still on that Michigan team too. So how much is that going to play into a factor? You know, we'll see tonight.
Now, this is, to me, I don't think Michigan is or rather Villanova. I don't think Villanova is as good as they were last year. There are, they got some changes going on, but I also don't think Michigan's as good of a three-pointing shooting team as they were last year. So kind of walk us through here. Michigan, Villanova. Are we looking at maybe a high-scoring game, or are we looking at a game that maybe the nerves are going to take in? Maybe we're looking at the under. Talk to us a little bit about how you think the game plays out here.
So, for starters, when we try to cap games, and, specifically me, I can attest to this, is I'm always asking questions, and I ask these 5 questions every time that I'm going to cap a game. I ask who, what, when, where, and why. And the biggest factor being is on the why, right? So, when that first line drops from Vegas, why is that line at what it's at, right? You should have already had, if you were doing, and this goes out for any sports capper, and the good ones know this, you should have already had a preset line in your mind before this game dropped, right? Our analysts, the ones that, Ed, Eric, and myself, we had talked about this for a while, and we had considered that this game was going to be Nova anywhere from 6 to 9, -6 to -9, anywhere in there. And sure enough, late last night, it ends up dropping with Villanova -7. So that's right where we thought it was going to be. And that's a good testament to, obviously, us as cappers, but also, Vegas doing their homework. Now, both teams have taken steps back in terms of having guys graduate, but don't sleep on this Villanova team. Their pace is extremely high. Jay Wright is a fantastic coach and always has a loaded offense. They have 6 guys who average 9 or better on their lineup. It's one of the things that makes Villanova so difficult to guard is the fact that their pace is usually always going to get them into the 80s or 90s. And it's going to depend on whether or not Michigan can match that with their hard-nosed defense, and ultimately if they can just keep up with the scoring firepower that Villanova has to offer.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great point, because it'll be interesting to watch how Michigan's offense responds when Villanova puts those quick scoring spurts together that they are known for. Can they match the Wildcats in that, being Michigan? Can they do that, or are they going to end up, which people in the NBA know of this with the Golden State Warriors, are they going to be trading 2s for 3s? And that's really where it's going to come down to. So -7 here, Villanova laying -7. Do you got a feeling one way or the other on this game?
We absolutely do. We're leaning towards Villanova -7. Again, you kind of take into a factor, what Vegas accounts for when they put spreads together. Home court in college basketball, and I don't know if anybody knows this or not, can be anywhere from 2 points to 6 points. And Villanova -7 off the drop, instantly Vegas is telling you, right, that Villanova is the better team, right? It's not one of those things that, really debatable from their aspect is, Vegas is valuing Villanova extremely high. We do as well. We just feel like I said, with that offense and their high scoring ability and their pace of play, that it's just going to be too much for Michigan to handle in the beginning. Now, that's not to knock Michigan at all, because we still feel like Michigan always gets right at the right time, right? So they always get good around the times of, your Big Ten tournament and, the NCAA tournament. That's when they start playing their best basketball. But, Jay Wright, we feel like at home, going to have those boys ready to rock and roll.
Yep, so it's just a matter of can you match those quick scoring spurts that Villanova is bound to go through? Can Michigan match them? You like Villanova -7 in this game. And if you're just joining us, welcome in. Jason from SportsPick365.com. They are the newest group here, part of the Joe Ranieri Show family. You got to head over there, SportsPick365.com. You got 3 cappers there that make up this group. They are some of the best in the game that cover every sport, including soccer. For you soccer fans, they have a lot of experience in that arena. Definitely somebody that you want to check out. And, of course, affordability is always something that you need to look at anytime you're looking for a service, and these guys are one of the most affordable out there. SportsPick365.com. Now, let's talk about the other game here, Jason, something that's very near and dear to you. If you don't know, or for those that don't know, what are the Gavitt games? We've got Indiana, we've got Marquette tonight, taking the stage, I think, 8:30 from Assembly Hall. That place is going to be rocking. But what are the Gavitt games, and how does that work there in Indy?
Well, so, I mean, obviously we have a little bit of a bias, but at the same time, we also have a very good in tune with this team, right? The Indiana Hoosiers have one of the best recruiting classes this year coming in, right? Preseason, they came in with 5 of the top 150 recruits, and that is extremely important for Archie Miller. Ended up turning around this program. Now, on the other side of things, we're looking at Marquette, right? Marquette's ranked 24th. Marquette can score. They can shoot the ball. They definitely can. ESPN BPI ended up having them around 4 in, how much they actually value. Now, Vegas says differently. Now, to us, Vegas is the end-all, be-all, right? Your analysts from ESPN, Fox Sports, or CBS Sports, or any of these guys are going to tell you one thing that they feel. But we all know at the end of the day, I mean, it's Vegas. Vegas is the end-all, be-all of this, right? So the line dropped last night at IU -5.5, okay? And that goes back to that home court thing that I was kind of touching on, college basketball, where it's anywhere from 2 to 6 points. So instantly you got to ask yourself, why is Marquette, the preseason 24th ranked team, going to IU and they're a dog at almost 6 points? Why do you do that?
Why exactly? Exactly. Why is that? I mean, Vegas sometimes you scratch your head when they come out with lines, but ultimately, when you look at it at the end of the year, you go, wow, they've been spot on more times than they've been way off. But, you've got to look at Vegas, and especially this early on in the season, and scratch your head and go, there's got to be a reason. Back to one of the questions that you always ask before capping, Jason, is going, why? Why?
Okay, so our staff, why? And we kind of had this conversation between everything, and, we're trying to drop the line before it comes in our heads. And I was actually the one that was closest to this. I had them at 3.5 to 4. Our other guys, Ed and Eric thought that, hey, this game could be close to a pick 'em because we don't know how much Vegas is actually going to value the fact that Marquette is the 24th ranked. It doesn't seem to faze them in this, and the reason being is because if you've ever been to Assembly Hall, that place is, I mean, it is a very quaint environment. It kind of feels like that old auditorium that you used to go to when you used to watch movies as a kid, because when the acoustics in that place, when it gets rocking, it is loud, man. And the backdrop, when you shoot there, is a little bit closer than it would be at any of these other, bigger college stadiums. It's a hard place to play. Marquette has not played there since 2001. So they do not have the experience of being in that gymnasium at that time. We value the Hoosiers here. We're going to buy the hook, and we're going to get it to -5. We're taking the Indiana Hoosiers -5.
-5, and I think it's a valid point that you brought up. Neither one of these two teams has been tested thus far. A couple of games in, I think Indiana, right, has won I think, by an average of 47 points the first couple of games that they have. Marquette has played absolutely nobody. So this is one of those games early on in the season, Jason, where we are going to get a very good feel for both of these teams. We know Indiana likes to consider themselves kind of like a dark horse. They kind of got a chip on their shoulder. Nobody pays attention to us, but they have an opportunity to tell the world here tonight that, you know, we are here. We're the real deal. Keep an eye on us this year.
Well, and hey, and if you're a part of Hoosier Nation, you know that Indiana takes pride in their basketball. And I can tell you what, there is a ton of buzz around this team in the early going. Us as Cappers feel like Indiana can make a lot of noise this year in the Big Ten. Now, obviously, they got to come out and do it, but with this recruiting class and Romeo Langford and some, you know, good experience with DeJuan Morgan, we really feel like this is a big-time team that's going to make some noise this year.
All right, well, we're going to make some noise here as well. So there you have it. He's got Indiana. You're going to buy the hook -5 tonight over Marquette. And, of course, in the earlier game, Michigan-Villanova, if you're just joining us, you like laying the 7 against Michigan. Take Villanova tonight. Probably just too much firepower in that lineup, and Michigan is probably going to end up doing what a lot of people end up doing against this team, and that's exchanging 2s for 3s. So go with Villanova -7, and also take Indiana by the hook -5. Those are your 2 fire plays from Jason at sportspick365.com. Is that about right, man?
Hey, man, absolutely. So I'm actually working on a write-up for both of these games right now, too. And if you go to sportspick365.com, you'll be able to see some of our past blogs where we have written about 3 plays that have happened where we will drop it on our website so that everybody can get in on it. I believe it was 2 weeks ago we dropped a fire NFL teaser play where Chicago to Buffalo, we went 7-point teaser, had Chicago Bears -3, and we had the over at, I believe it was 30, and that game was locked up by half.
Love
you
it.
watched that game. The Bears absolutely came out for fire, and it was everything that we could have hoped for, and our VIPs definitely cast on that.
Well, it's so simple to become a VIP. SportsPick365.com, affordable package, great knowledge. Stop by, go to the website there, guys. Check it out. Jason, Ed, and Eric, they are there for you. It's all about consistency. It's all about transparency. And like we showed you before, you can go to the website and you'll be able to see how they have done, not just in football, but the NBA, soccer, Major League Baseball, college football, college basketball. It is all there for you. And the mark of a real professional and a group that you guys want to do business with is their transparency. And it is there for you to see. So do yourself a favor. Head over to sportspick365.com. Get Jason, Eric, and Ed working for you today. Jason, I thank you so very much for stopping by here. It's going to be a hell of a night at Assembly Hall. So good luck to you. Enjoy the game, and I look forward to doing this again in the future, my friend.
Absolutely, Joe. Thank you so much for having us on. I'm going to be in attendance myself at Assembly Hall just to get a bird's eye view of everything. But we really wanted to thank you again for having us on, and I can't wait to be back again.
Not a problem. We appreciate it. SportsPick365.com. That's SportsPick365.com. Get there today. Jason, be safe tonight. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, take care, brother.